Emily, and I'm going to show you what I keep in my kit for when I'm going to do someone else's makeup. The kit that I have put together right now is from a wedding that I did this past weekend. I'm not a professional makeup artist and I didn't go to school for this, but it's just something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm always excited when I can do makeup for one of my friends. As you can see, the background is different again. This is where I sit and put on makeup when I'm in Pennsylvania. The wedding that I did this past weekend was for a beautiful friend of mine. I was so excited for her, and I was really happy that I could be a part of the wedding and doing this. I was just really grateful to spend time with her on her wedding day. The only thing I'm not going to be showing in this video is the brushes that I bring. I do usually bring two different brush rolls. I'll bring one that has brushes for face makeup, and then I'll bring one that has eye brushes. I like to keep it separate, number one, so I can bring more, so I have different options and so I can switch things out and take less time to clean brushes while I'm working, but also because it's nice having them separated, and that way I have easy access and I'm not fumbling around for things. The first container that I bring with me is just this little one. This was from a philosophy gift set, and I just found that it works really nicely for the purpose, and it has nice compartments. When you unsnap this, it has one main center compartment where I keep most of my supplies, and then two smaller pockets on the outside. In this center container, I just keep a lot of different applicators. I have a bunch of disposable mascara ones. Some of these are curved and some of these are straight. In this bag, I have a bunch of different doe foot applicators for lip gloss, some other smaller lip brushes, and then a few more mascara ones. These are separated because I took them with me after doing the makeup to the church just for any touch-ups. Also in here, I have some of these eye teas. It really doesn't matter, I don't think, what brand you get. I often get these from Ulta, and they're just like little Q-tips that have a pointed applicator on one side. This is really nice for cleaning up liquid eyeliner. It's nice for pressing powder shadows into the lash line to give a soft lined effect, and then the other side is just sort of like a flattened Q-tip. I also keep little sponges with me. A lot of times I'll use these to moisturize before I start with the makeup application. I also have this little container where I have a couple of bigger sponges and some other little ones tucked away. There's some tissues and some puffs, and just not really anything monumentally exciting. On the sides, I just keep some other little odds and ends. There's hand sanitizer in here. There are some liquid-filled cotton swabs. These are just some little eye makeup remover Q-tips. There's also eyebrow stencils, shine sheets, some of these little spatulas if I'm trying to get product out of a container, and these mascara and shadow shields from e.l.f. that I find are really helpful. Because I'm not a professional, I don't have one of those large rolling suitcases. The container that I carry with me is just this little train case that I ordered off Amazon, I believe. It's from Shani Cosmetics, and I like the way that it works. I think it's sturdy, and I find that it's really useful for my purposes. Inside, the way this opens is that on each side, two levels of drawers come out that are divided, the bottom one in 3s and the top one in 2, and they do have the ability to change how many pockets are in each with these little plastic pieces that you can lift out. And then there is one large container that can be divided into 4 subsections. I try to keep it generally organized into foundations and concealers in one, powders in another, eye products in one, and then in the last one I have blush, highlighter, and bronzer. Up in the drawers on the side, I have some smaller products and things that I like to keep grouped together. And when I have a bunch of different eyeliners. In here, I just have some of the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils. I like to keep a nude liner for lining the waterline, black kohl liner, a few different options for liquid liner, and then a few regular black pencil liners. Also in here in a different pocket, I do have a MAC fluid line in Black Track. Next to the eyeliners, I have a bunch of different mascaras. Obviously for a wedding you're using something that is waterproof, and the one that I used was the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Express. It's the one that's in the orange tube, and I just find that it really opens up the eyes nicely, and I absolutely love that mascara. Down in the next drawer below, I have a couple of different eyelash curlers. This one is nice for using on other people because it can come at them as opposed to having to be right underneath their eye, although I do have my regular Tarte eyelash curler. I was planning on using the Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I did bring just a small size of the D-Slick and the All Nighter in case I wanted something a little bit different. The main eyelid primer that I planned on using was this one from Urban Decay, and this is the Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Eden. This one is the same formula, I believe, to the regular primer potion, but it does just give a little bit of color coverage, which can be nice. It gives a nice even base for the eyeshadow to cling onto, and it helps it to last all day long. I did also bring a couple of little minis that I keep in here just of the original eyeshadow primer potion. On the other side of the drawers, I have a couple of beauty blenders which now desperately need to be cleaned. A bunch of different eyebrow products. The eyebrow powder that I used for the most part were these Sigma powders. This one is the light one. And it's just a little duo that's really nice for using on a bunch of different hair colors and skin tones. In here I also have a brow setting gel, as well as a tinted brow setting gel, and a couple of different other eyebrow products. On the top drawer of this side, I have all lipsticks. I knew the one that I wanted to use for the bride, because we've done it on a practice run, is the MAC Viva Glam 2. And this is a really pretty neutral color that's not too nude. You don't want anything that's too light that's going to wash out the bride's lips on camera. You want something that's going to look beautiful all day for the pictures, and I think that this one is great. The lip gloss that I used on top of that one is this Anastasia Beverly Hills Hydrofall lip gloss in Moi. My battery died and the video got cut off, so hopefully I didn't lose any footage, but I'm just going to move into the other lip products that I have. For the bridesmaids, I brought a bunch of different lip options. The one that I thought was the most universal and ended up using a lot was this MAC lipstick in Hot Gossip, and this is just a really pretty pinky color. On top of a lot of lipsticks, especially pink ones like that, I really like to use this e.l.f. Pout Perfector. I like to concentrate this down the center of the lips. It just gives a nice plump effect. I did bring quite a few other options just in case. I brought a few of my lipsticks from The Balm, a few shimmery colors that I really like from the Body Shop. I also brought this Milani color in 26 Nude Cream, which is one of my absolute favorite neutral colors. I also brought this YSL Rouge Volupte Shine in number 8, which I thought I would use instead of a gloss. If there was someone that didn't like using lip gloss, sometimes people really don't enjoy that sticky feeling on their lips. And then I also brought this Bobbi Brown Creamy Lip Color in Washed Seashell. Down below, it gets more into the rest of the makeup. On top, I have a couple of different spray products. The first one is this Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Fused Complexion Prep Spray, and I did use this on most of the girls. I thought this was a convenient way to get some nice vitamins into their skin and also give me a prep layer before putting on any other product. The finishing spray that I brought was this Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I brought this partially because it gives a nice dewy look, which I thought would be beautiful in the wedding pictures, but also because this particular wedding was in an unair-conditioned church at the end of August. So I thought that this would help to keep their makeup cool and not sliding right off their faces. The last spray product that I have in here is the MAC Fix Plus spray. I actually did not use this as a finishing spray on anyone, but I did use this with a pressed pigment. Moving on to skin products, I brought two different moisturizers. The first one is this Hope in a Jar from Philosophy. This is a really nice all-around moisturizer, and I always keep one of these in this kit. The other moisturizer that I brought is this Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel. This is really nice, lighter feeling moisturizer for anyone who has oily or combo skin. I wanted to have a backup in case they thought that the Philosophy product was a little bit too heavy for their skin. Even though I had the B6 Prep Spray, I did bring a couple other smaller sizes of some of my favorite primers, just because these are really easy and portable and they didn't take up too much room in my kit. And I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Blemish Control Primer with salicylic acid, this mini of the Professional by Benefit, which I absolutely love, and then this Smashbox Photo Finish Light, which is really nice for people who have oily or combo skin. Another thing that I like to keep in here is the e.l.f. Daily Moisture Stick. I like to use this not rolled directly on the skin, but with a little brush or a sponge patted in any dry areas on the face, just to make sure that the rest of the makeup doesn't cling to any dry patches. For this group, I used 2 different foundations, which I was able to mix to cover everyone who was in the bridal party. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light Foundation. I really like this. It does not have any SPF, so it does show up nice in photos. The bride has medium skin tone, and so I used intensity number 3 on her skin. The lightest member of the party looked great in intensity number 1, and for everyone else I was able to mix the 2 to come up with the ideal foundation color. I brought quite a few concealers with me, so I'm just going to go quickly through what some of the ones were that I brought and what I used them for. I did bring this little packet of Boing concealers in 01 and 02 that I believe came in a kit, and I think that these are great for covering up any spots. I brought this Makeup Forever Camouflage Concealer Palette. I love these concealers. It is recommended that you use these underneath foundation. I really like the green color for coloring up any redness on the face. You do have to use just a little bit because it goes a long way, but these are really nice pigmented products that last for a very long time. I did bring a couple of liquid concealers that I really like. One is the Revlon Age Defying Concealer. I think that this is great. It's especially nice under the eyes because it blends out beautifully. I also brought this Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which I think is another really great liquid product. Another concealer that I brought is the Benefit Fake Up. It does have the concealer inside this ring of moisturizing product, so it's supposed to really look like skin and not crease, and I think that this is really nice. I also brought my Coastal Scents Camo Quad in Light, which I like to use a lot. It has 4 different colors, one being white, which is really nice because you can use it to lighten up any other product that is a little bit too dark for the skin tone. I also brought the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Corrector. This is a really nice under eye concealer for a lot of people, and it brings just a nice moisturized texture to the under eye area before putting on anything else. I also had the Maybelline Dream Lumi Concealer. I have this in Ivory, but it really does work on a lot of skin tones just to give a nice brightening effect without being too obvious of a highlight. In addition, I had the MAC Prep and Prime, and this one is in Light Boost. I also brought my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. This is in the brightening shade, and I just love this for underneath the eyes. I think that this gives such a beautiful brightening effect that looks great in photos. To set those products, I brought a few different finishing powders. I brought 2 different colors of the Rimmel Stay Matte powders, one in 04 Sandstorm and another one in 05 Silky Beige, and these are really nice cheap products that work so beautifully. I also brought the Urban Decay De-Slick powder, which is a white powder but does show up translucent on the skin, and it's nice for anyone who has oily or combo skin. Another powder which I found to be so beautiful for this wedding party was the Il Masca Powder Blush in the color Intrigue, and this is a white powder, and I use this underneath the eyes to set the under eye concealer. It just adds to the brightening effect, and if you use a light hand with it, it is so beautiful. This can be a pigmented product if you use it too heavily, so you definitely want to just barely dip your brush in it and then dab off any excess before applying it to the skin. Next, I bought a bunch of different cheek products, blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. And the first thing that I brought is this My Sculpted Face palette, and this does have 6 different powder products. It has a matte highlighter, a shimmery highlighter, and then 4 different colors of sculpting powders. You have to excuse my nails, they are not done right now. So that you can pick the best color based on skin tone and you can get a really nice look. As far as bronzers, I brought a couple of different options. I did bring 2 different matte bronzers. One is the Bobbi Brown Golden Light Bronzing Powder. This is relatively new to me, and it's just such a nice product. It shows up actually a lot darker on the skin than it does in the pan, and it works for so many different skin tones. It gives a nice contour without being too harsh, which you really don't want in wedding photos. The next matte bronzer that I brought is the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. Mine is actually still in the old packaging, where the lid totally comes off. This is another one where it shows up a lot darker on the skin. I hear a lot of people saying that they're surprised that this works for them because they look at it in the pan and they think that it's so light it'll never show up. The last bronzer that I used is from Physicians Formula, and this is, I believe it's called the Cashmere or the Cashmere Wear bronzer. It has just the faintest bit of shine in it, so it's going to be nice all over the face to warm up the skin, but it's not going to be too shimmery. As far as highlighters, I did bring just two because I didn't want anything to be too sparkly, and I also didn't want to compete with the Intrigue blush that I was using to set the under eye powder. One thing I brought is the Benefit High Beam. I love this. It gives a nice dewy sheen to the skin. The last one I brought is MAC Soft and Gentle. This is just such a staple product, especially for the summer. It looks so gorgeous on the skin. It really is soft and gentle like the name says. I'm going to start with the two cream blushes that I brought. This one is the L'Oreal Invisible Lift Color Lift Blush in Rose Gold. I think that this is such a pretty color and such a nice product. I actually use this as a highlight on the bride because she did have a darker skin tone. It just gave a nice glow to the skin. I also brought this Laura Mercier Cream Cheek color in Rose Tulle. I often like to use a cream blush underneath a powder blush. So this is the one that I used on the bride, and this color is just so pretty and it gives a really nice effect. I also brought this Revlon Photo Ready cream blush in Pinched. And I know I've talked about these before. I'm in love with these blushes. I think that they're so nice. This is just a light peachy pink color. I also brought a couple of different powder blushes. The one that I used on the bride is MAC Blush All Day, and this is like it's almost like a dusty mauve type color. I used this over top of the Laura Mercier cream color, and this is what it looks like combined. It's just so pretty, obviously a lot more sheared out on the cheeks, but the effect that it gives is really beautiful. I brought three other blushes that I used for the wedding. The first one is MAC Melba. I think that this is such a pretty peachy color. It's matte, which was really nice, and I used this on a bunch of the girls. I also brought the Balms Down Boy, which is just a really true pink color. It's so beautiful on the skin, and I like to mix this with the more peachy Melba color just to give a more natural look to the skin. The last blush that I brought is Tarte's Amazonian Clay blush in Dollface, and this is a really light pink. I know this video is long, so please just bear with me. We're getting into the last section here, which is the eye products. I mostly used two different palettes to get the look that I wanted. One is the Too Faced Naked Eye palette. I really love this palette. I think that this is so nice. The colors for this wedding were champagne and light pink, and the other palette that I brought is just my MAC palette. This is a Z palette that has a bunch of different MAC shadows. Most of these are not depotted. I just bought them online in the pan form. It's just so convenient. I love having my shadows like this. For the bridesmaids, what I used on the lids was this beautiful light pink color called Satin Sheets. Then I used some nice neutral matte colors in the crease to give light definition. For the bride, I had really similar crease colors, but I brought this pressed pigment from MAC to do her lids. This is in Vanilla Diamond, and I don't know if this is a limited edition or if it's just a new color, but it is so beautiful. This just gives the most beautiful shine to the lid. I did use it over MAC's Vanilla on the lid, and it was so pretty. I put this on wet with a little bit of Fix Plus, and I was so pleased with the way it looked. In addition to the products that I've shown, I also have two other things that are not in the train case because I've used them since. One is makeup remover wipes. I always like to have these with me. These just have so many uses and it's really nice to have them. The other thing I always like to have with me is my brush cleanser. This is my MAC brush cleanser, and I just keep it in this little spray bottle. And I just like to spot clean the brushes with this. This is just such a nice thing to have. That's all the makeup that I brought with me to this wedding, and I was able to put together some really beautiful looks with it. I hope this gave you some inspiration if you're going to be either doing your own makeup look for your wedding or if you're going to be helping out a friend with theirs. If you have any questions, definitely let me know down below. Also, let me know if you'd like to see a tutorial using any of these products, or specifically the look that I did for this wedding, and I'd be happy to recreate that. Thanks for watching. Bye.